Hafade Guam, welcome to another episode of the We Want to Know, the Action Pack Show, hosted by myself, Phil Letty, your Executive Director for the Action Pack. We have another candidate today, a very special guest. We have Ms. Bistra Mendiola, and she is another candidate vying for one of your 15 votes in this upcoming primary election. Hafade, and good morning, Ms. Bistra.
Hafade, good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Well, thank you for accepting our invite. And for our new viewers, we always like to introduce the Action Pack and who we are. So the Action Pack was formed out of a need to play an active role in government, beginning at the grassroots level. Action Pack comprises members from a cross-section of Guam society, representing all walks of life, and united in our belief that we can effect change through action. We welcome you to get to know us better, and we hope to do our part to help you get to know our candidates better. So, Ms. Bistra, before we jump right into the questions, if you can do a quick introduction of yourself.
Sure. My name is Bistra Mendiola. I'm number 13 on the Republican ballot during this election. I relocated to Guam in 1999, and I currently reside in Orchard, Pago. I'm a mom, and I'm a wife to Thesis Mendiola. We are both, actually, my husband and I, we're small business owners. We opened our first store in 2017, and through organic growth, today we own and operate 4 stores throughout the island. I'm a very experienced entrepreneur. I actually started my first business when I was roughly 18. And today I can say that I am pretty much well aware of all the ups and downs that an entrepreneur can experience in their lifetime, and including the last 2 years that we all had to go through so many hoops. So in essence, I'm someone that can bring a lot of expertise and experience and knowledge to the legislature from the perspective of a small business owner, because I believe that today we need to truly pay attention to our small and mid-sized businesses, because they always get left out. For some reason, the backbone of our taxpayer base is always out, and I want to bring that muscle in the legislature to help with our economic recovery.
That's amazing. With Action Pack being backed and supported by the largest business organizations in Guam, we champion and applaud any entrepreneur on island, be it small, medium, or large business. So we applaud your efforts, and we also feel that a balanced legislature is what's needed to move Guam forward, with industry experts from all different industries and agencies. So we welcome you to be a candidate, and let's start with question number 1, which is, can you please let us know and our viewers know, what are your 3 platform pillars?
It's very simple and straightforward. I will be advocating to promote lowering the cost of living in Guam by a few different efforts. I'm a big advocate and proponent for the waiver of Jones Act for Guam. I know that's a very complex issue, but it's not impossible. And I believe that right now we're in a situation that we are in a better position to negotiate that waiver due to the socioeconomic and geopolitical changes that have been happening. Number 2, I will be advocating for exempting certain commodities that are very essential for our living, such as food, gas, medicine, and baby necessities. Not just lower the BPT, but completely exempt them. It's going to be a tough battle, because I know that the government is using those points, 3+ for certain bonds. But again, not everything will be excluded, so I think we can negotiate with revenue and taxation, some kind of a battle there. Also, the cost of housing is another topic that has been quite hot lately. And one of my points in that lowering the cost of living is to empower our current landowners to build, and even current homeowners to build on their same lot. I want to remove some of the red tape there. And then lastly, we need to identify higher paying jobs, because cost of living is basically relevant to what we're getting paid. If we get paid low, then our cost of living is high. So I want to identify opportunities in the private sector to retrain certain workforce and move them to the balance level with a higher pay. Then pillar number 2 in my platform will be definitely increase our food security. We're already experienced the food shortages and supply chain disruptions. So I want to shift our government policy from tourism and military oriented to more agricultural activity based. I believe it's possible. It actually has been a growing movement on Guam. We went from a couple hundred farmers to roughly 800, I believe, right now. Also, I want to incentivize the newcomers in the game, including the micro farms, including the backyard gardeners. I want to provide them with incentives so that we can all start shift our focus to producing our own food and living sustainably. Also grants and loan opportunities. I want to ensure that we provide those through government effort, locate some federal grants. I know I was just researching, there's quite a few through the USDA. Also invest in a training process for any new enterprise, not just farming, but in essence, every new enterprise, provide them with the training necessary for the business planning, and so that we basically set them up for success. Without planning, without knowledge, enterprises may fail. So I want to provide that training. There are quite a few nonprofit organizations out there. I personally work with the Guma Guam Unique Merchandise and Arts, and I'm really happy with their service. It's just a wonderful program, and I know there are quite a few more. So supporting these type of training programs will be also priority. And also the last point on the food security for me, that would be ensuring that we reignite our meat production. I know the slaughterhouse has been discussed. There is a great bill that was placed last year. It's still not moving out of committee as far as I know as of today. So reintroducing those options, and also introducing a new option for meat processing, which is operating very successful in the United States, but we don't have that option here. It's called the custom exempt meat processing. So those are the major efforts in that. And then pillar number 3 is igniting the new economic sectors. I know that there's a lot of talk lately that there are companies in Asia that might be able to relocate on U.S. soil here and still keep that close proximity to Asia. You know, we are leveraging our geographic position here. Also, another thing that's not being actually discussed, but I kind of came across it through the GUMA program. I heard other people that they're very interested in utilizing a community kitchen, which is basically a licensed commercial kitchen that people can come in and share and kind of sublease for certain hours a day, and they can produce their food, create a brand of product, and they're free to sell it wholesale and retail. Also a cannery that can be done for local jams, jellies, and all food products of different sorts. So legalizing those, I think it's another industry of its own. And then I have another idea to explore the opportunity for essential oil extraction and hydrosol. We're in a great climate here, and there's a tremendous opportunity. And primarily I'm interested in promoting the plumeria hydrosol because it's a very rare commodity, and it's actually highly sought by the cosmetic industry. And we can be one of the top producers besides India. India's a big country, I know, but it's possible. See, those are the ideas that I kind of have on the top of my head when it comes to new economic development. I don't want to repeat what everybody's saying already, because I'm now looking into reinventing the wheel for them. I want to come in with fresh and new ideas that are a bit on a smaller scale, and I think that they're more achievable.
Excellent. Those are some very big pillars. But what I loved about your approach to the question was you started off with the government assisting the business community, and then thus allowing the business community and new industries to arrive and thrive. And I do believe that is a great synergy as far as lawmakers working with our business leaders and industry leaders. So I love that. I love how you're talking about the cost of living, because that is an absolute prominent topic for our local residents. Not typically for our great military service members, because of course they are taken care of as far as the living allowance is concerned. But there is a really tough war and battle out there for our local residents to find affordable housing. And that also goes into the Jones Act, waiver that you've mentioned. I think that I really believe that we can, if united, our lawmakers can push for at the bare minimum a 2-year waiver.
Yeah,
utilizing the fact that our current governor still has this emergency status. Yeah. So definitely, I agree with you in regards to the Jones Act waiver.
There's this one section of our Organic Act, it's 1423K, which is practically a direct link to the Department of Interior and the feds. It's rarely been used, but through a joint effort with community support, if we do, I'm just laying out what I think may happen as far as getting that waiver. Community support through a petition from the community, getting them to sign up for that petition. And then we in the legislature issue a resolution, just like Maui County just did in May or April. Correct. To the waiver. And then we present a governor's memo, executive order. I don't know how exactly to put it. And then we gather all the documentation and send it straight over there and say, hey, you guys need to pay attention, because this is not a lobby effort for me. This is a humanitarian issue for our residents. I mean, look at what's happening. We are twice as poor as we were in 1996. If you open the consumer price index, the second quarter right now, the 1996 threshold of $1, how much $1 was worth, it was $1. Today it's 46 cents. That's 1 cent less than what it was in the first quarter, and it keeps dropping.
It does keep dropping, and that leads us to your points of higher paying jobs. And this is another reason why I'm a huge advocate for our Trades Academy. And I really want to empower our local residents to explore the Trades Academy, because typically you graduate from high school and the options that you are presented are not bad options, but they are military or college, both excellent options. But we need to educate our youth by way of job fairs and internships and scholarships through the trades, that you have another option right here on Guam. You can learn your craft and keep your talent here and get paid while you're learning and getting certified. So I love that point. We're going to swing into our question number 2. And I love you have a great plethora of areas that you want to assist. Now, this question is, what is one main focus item that you believe you can realistically accomplish in one term?
It's very simple. I already started identifying bills that were introduced during the last 2 years. I actually combed through over 330 bills. And I have a personal stack of mine that kind of really aligns well with my pillars that I already talked about. Let me just mention a few of those bills. For example, as I mentioned, the slaughterhouse bill, that was a bill introduced by Senator Rigel. As we know, he's not running. So I don't know what's going to happen to that bill, whether it's going to come out of committee or not. So those are that type of bills that are stuck in a limbo. And then he also introduced 7 more that are agriculture related, all great bills. I love them, and I have them right here, like near and dear to my heart. And then another bill, let me think. Oh, the Business Startup Incubation Act. That was another bill that was proposed. It champions 5,000 to 25,000 free grant money through the GIDA administration, and the legislature appropriated that. It was a great bill. That's Bill 736 COR. So if you're curious, folks, go check it out in the website of the legislature. Also, talking about the cost of housing, there was another bill. It's called Bill 154-36, accessory dwelling unit. So basically, it will allow current homeowners to build an accessory unit in their own backyard that could be either separately connected to utilities or together, and they are not going to be able to sell that as a separate unit. You're just going to come with the house, but that's how you can help your parents to move in or your kids to move in with their children. I mean, that's how you can share that mortgage payments instead of going and renting a $2,200 apartment right now, because or a house. So those are great bills. As I said, they were introduced there. I don't have to reinvent the wheel, really. All I have to do is basically comb through, take a look what was done, amend a few things if I feel that maybe I could improve the bill, and then reintroduce it. And there's so many examples, great examples of great legislation. Unfortunately, it's stuck in committee. I don't know. That's probably more realistic for me to do versus go and research on some major bill. But I will be looking at some major bills. But as you said, realistically, I think there's nothing more realistic than that, really.
You know, truthfully, you're right. We have, with our different organizations, we have certain bills that we keep an eye on, and then we are just hoping and lobbying for these bills to get placed on the floor for a vote. Like you said, some of them are great as they are. It's just stuck in the never-ending push down or pushback. Whatever the reason may be, but there are certain bills out there that we hope that will continue to be pushed, and we need the right lawmakers to continue that fight for these bills to be placed on the floor. So thank you for that answer. Now, as you and our viewers know, the Action PAC is comprised of the largest business organizations in Guam: the Guam Chamber, Women's Chamber, Chinese and Korean Chamber, contractors, Realtors Association, and the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association. But with that said, businesses are only businesses if we have the right amount of employees that support us. And by way of working that honest living wage, the employees are able to support their family. So it's an amazing synergy of commerce that we believe in. Now, how will you help our local business community during this time of economic recovery?
It's a very simple answer. Less government, more business. The red tape that I've seen that exists for our business is just tremendous. Sometimes it's crazy. For example, if you want to convert an office space to a retail store, you're going to have to go through a hoop of certain regulations, and you need to do a whole blueprint and approve it by architect, when it's just simply I need to put up shelf on the wall. Why I need to spend extra 5 to 10 grand before I move in? I mean, those 5 to 10 grand can go to inventory, correct? So those are things that I know from personal experience. I know the business community out there will have their own personal stories to share. But as I said, removing that red tape, I think it's crucial and element of moving things forward faster. I just recently said, I don't want to be a voice in the legislature. I want to be a muscle. I want to move things around just to get them going, because just talking about certain things is not helpful. Correct. So there you go. That I think that would be the number one contribution I can say. Introduce bills that are great and then remove the red tape.
We agree. We agree. Anything that our lawmakers and our government can do to support, not hamper, not restrict, but support our businesses, we fully agree with that type of thinking. And I really appreciate the fact that you what you stated, that you want to be a muscle, in your words, in the legislature, not just a voice or a vote. Unfortunately, without saying any names, we know that historically there have been representation in the legislature who, after getting in, they kind of just been a vote for their party or for certain areas. And we hope that the next generation of our lawmakers really have that push to make that change. So thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation with the Action PAC. And we hope that our viewing audience, these potential voters, do take their time to watch your interview back, hear what you have to say and your foundational values and what you're going to bring to the table, as well as the other candidates that we feature on our show, because I'm pretty certain we both can agree a knowledgeable and informed voter is a powerful voice at the polls. But you can't just have an opinion. You got to register and then vote. And that's what we hope this election cycle, we see a huge uptick in the voter turnout. and they consider new, fresh faces and ideas like yourself, Ms. Mendiola. So I do appreciate you taking the time. Did you have any closing remarks for our viewers?
My major concern is that exactly we need to make sure that we register to vote, go and exercise the fundamental right of our democratic society. I got to tell you that I know how important living in a democracy is for me, because I came from a communist government. I was born and raised in one, and I can tell you how scary it can be if we don't exercise that power of the people, because truly we must use it. It is a right and a privilege, and it's very important for us to be able to move forward. I know that a lot of voters out there are very disappointed, just like I was in the past with the political climate on Guam. But I'm seeing a great change this year. I know there are a lot of newcomers that are great people. I've spoken with a lot of them. They have great ideas, and they're not in it for the money or in it for the glory. They're truly in it to win it for the island. So please, please go out there and exercise your vote. Thank you.
Excellent. Can you please remind everyone what side of the ballot and what number are you on the ballot?
I am number 13 on the Republican ballot, Bistra Mendiola.
Excellent. So this is Ms. Bistra Mendiola. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you to our viewing audience. As she mentioned, it is a privilege, but in my opinion, it is an absolute duty and a responsibility as a citizen, once you become voting age, to take up this responsibility and vote. Put your voice into action and put it on a ballot by way of selecting our future lawmakers. So as a reminder, the primary election goes down on August 27th. And that's where you're going to select your 15 senator hopefuls who will make it to the next round, which is the general election. Ms. Bistra is vying for one of your votes. And if you agreed with her stance and her values and her foundational pillars, then please do act and vote, and maybe place a vote for her. So primaries on August 27th. And if you are registered, the early election is still happening up until this Friday at the Westin Resort. I took advantage of it. It was a quick and easy, no more than 30-minute process, and it was very well organized. So that ends on the 19th, and the primary is on the 27th. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode with our candidates. This is the We Want to Know the Action Pack Show. My name is Phil Letty, your executive director. Thank you very much, and be safe, Guam.